Chapter 7. Saudi Arabia, the land of sand. Saudi Arabia. A desert is defined as an area which receives very scanty rainfall. It has very little vegetation. Most of the hot deserts are located on the western sides of the continents. The Arabian Peninsula is a hot desert region. It is located in Southwest Asia. Saudi Arabia occupies most of the hot Arabian Peninsula. Its capital city is Riyadh. Are you aware? Some examples of hot deserts are the Sahara, the Kalahari in Africa, the Great Australian Desert in Australia, the Atacama Desert in South America, the Mexican Desert in Mexico, and the Thar Desert in India. Location: Saudi Arabia lies in the western part of Asia. It is surrounded by Jordan, Kuwait, and Iraq in the north, the Persian Gulf, Qatar, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates in the east, the Arabian Sea, Oman, and Yemen in the south, and the Red Sea in the west. Most part of Saudi Arabia is a rocky plateau. It is covered by a vast desert. About half of the country is a barren desert. Nafud and Rub al-Khali are continuous bodies of sand. These regions are dotted with sand dunes. When strong winds blow, sand dunes often shift from one place to another. However, not all of Saudi Arabia is a desert. The country has mountains on the western side which are very close to the Red Sea. Are you aware? Rub al-Khali, or the Empty Quarter, is the largest sand desert in the world. Abha is a hill station in Saudi Arabia, which is cool even in the summer season. There are no permanent rivers or lakes in Saudi Arabia. In some places, streams called wadis form after it rains, but they are temporary and flow only for a short time. In some places, underground water comes to the surface to form pools. These areas are called oases. There is an acute shortage of fresh water in the Saudi Arabia. The country obtains most of its fresh water by desalinating seawater, that is, removing salt from seawater. Climate: the Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of Saudi Arabia. Most parts of Saudi Arabia experience extremely hot and dry. There is hardly any rainfall. At times, there is no rain for several years. The summer season lasts from May to September. The weather is very hot and dry. However, the nights are cool, because the desert sand cools down quickly at night. The winter season lasts from October to April. The days are warm while the nights are very cold. In the coastal areas, the temperatures are mild. Sandstorms are common in deserts. Vegetation: high temperature and low rainfall do not allow many plants to grow in the region. There are hardly any trees. The vegetation mainly consists of cacti, thorny bushes, hard grasses, and shrubs. These plants can withstand the hot and dry weather. The plants in this region have long roots that go deep down in search of water. Plants also have soft and fleshy stems and roots to store water. Date palms usually grow in areas where water is available, such as oases. Wildlife: Arabian horses, foxes, and jackals move swiftly across the sandy desert. Wolves and hyenas are some other animals found in Saudi Arabia. Pigeons and quails are seen near oases. Flamingos and pelicans are found in coastal areas. The camel is the most important animal in the desert. It can stay without food and water for many days. Its padded feet helps it to walk easily on sand. Therefore, it is also known as the ship of the desert. Natural resources and industries. Saudi Arabia is the world's leading oil exporter and second largest producer of petroleum. Almost the entire income of the country comes from its exports. The money earned has been used to start many industries. Important industries are petroleum refining, petrochemicals, fertilizers, cement, telecom, iron and steel. Besides, Saudi Arabia has natural resources other than oil, including small mineral deposits of zinc, silver, iron, copper, gold, manganese, tungsten, lead, sulfur, and phosphate. These industries employ a large number of people. Agriculture. Agriculture is done in a very small part of Saudi Arabia. Despite efforts by the government to boost the agriculture of the country, Saudi Arabia continues to depend on import to meet 70% of its food requirements. Wheat, rice, alfalfa, vegetables and dates are the main crops grown here. Date palms mainly grow near oases. Some other crops that grow in oases are wheat and barley. In some areas, tomatoes and melons are grown on a small scale. Transport. Earlier, the country lacked modern transportation facilities and ports and had less than 50 kilometers of paved roads. However, with the development of petroleum and other industries, the transport facilities have greatly improved. Today, the country has a modern network of railroads, roads, air, marine and public transport. Jeddah is a busy seaport. Life of the people. The vast deposits of petroleum have helped Saudi Arabia to earn a lot of money. This money has been used to develop the country. Many modern cities such as Riyadh and Jeddah have come up in the region. These cities boast of superhighways, port facilities and modern utility services. Many people live in these cities. Jeddah is an important commercial city. Arab men wear a thob, a long white robe with long sleeves which covers the whole body. They wear a headdress called gutra, which is held in place by a ring woven from camel hair. While stepping out of their homes, women wear a long black robe called abaya. The abaya covers their whole body. It is usually worn with a face veil or niqab. People in cities wear Western dresses. People in the villages lead a traditional way of life. They rear sheep, goats and camels and move from place to place in search of pastures and water sources. Bedouins. Bedouins are nomadic people. They lead a very hard life. They rear animals such as camels and sheep for their skin, hair and milk. They make tents, rugs and carpets with animal hair and skin. They exchange these products or animals for food grains, dates and other things. The Bedouins usually move in groups. These groups form long rows of camels called caravans. They live in tents made of animal skin. The lifestyle of Bedouins is now changing. Many have given up their nomadic life and have settled down in cities. Are you aware? Mecca is the holiest place of pilgrimage for the Muslims. Every year, millions of Muslims from all over the world visit Mecca and Medina. A pilgrimage to these places is called Hajj. Things I have learned. Most of Saudi Arabia is a rocky plateau covered by a vast desert. Saudi Arabia occupies most of the hot Arabian Peninsula. The camel is the most important animal in the desert. Crops are grown in a very small part of Saudi Arabia. The vegetation mainly consists of cacti, thorny bushes and shrubs. Saudi Arabia has the second largest oil reserves in the world. The Bedouins are nomadic people who lead a very hard life.